My name is Dan Broderick, Broderick. I'm the son of the victims and Betty. It saddens me to say this, but I don't think my mother is a stable and healthy person. I don't think she has been for decades. I don't think she's remorseful and insightful to what she's done. She has never expressed wanting forgiveness from us, nor giving forgiveness to my dad and Linda. She has never apologized until today for what she's done, and has never acknowledged the pain and suffering for her actions. In 20 years since the incident, she hasn't done much that I'm aware of for redemption or correcting her wrongs.
My name is Kim Piggins, Piggins, and I'm the oldest child of Dan and Betty Broderick. I was 19 years old when my dad and Linda died. My youngest sibling was a mere 10. It was at that moment that the four of us became orphans, and not only did my mother's actions take our father from us, but it took her away from us as well. I just always hoped that one day she would come around and realize what she had done. Yet she still not once, until today, has taken responsibility for her actions or expressed any remorse for the damage she's caused. She has continuously maintained that she was the victim in all this, and had no choice but to act as she did. She defends her behavior to this day and makes justifications that are irrational and without factual basis. The truth of the matter is that my parents had a horrible divorce and they treated each other very poorly. But that often happens at the dissolution of a marriage. Nothing that transpired between them was grounds for murder, or frankly, any of the violent actions that my mother took towards my dad and Linda in the years prior to their deaths.
I am the daughter of Dan and Betty Broderick. I have come here today in support of my mother's release. I'm not trying to deny the heartbreaking loss my family has suffered through my mother's crimes. I love my father, and I want to honor his memory. My life has been very difficult trying to get by with this tragedy and the lack of my parents. My mother has been a good prisoner for the last 20 years, as all of her prison records will show. She has expressed remorse, and I feel that she should have a chance to live her older years outside of the prison walls.
I'm Rhett Broderick, son of, do I have to spell it? Broderick, the son of Dan and Betty Broderick. I, too, support my mother's release. I have spent 2/3 of my life without my parents. I was very young when my mom was a broken woman. She was consumed by anger and grief, and she was so depressed and just not the woman that she is today. I'm very confident that my mom would succeed outside of prison. I think that the psychological evaluation is accurate. I do not think she's a risk to society. I think she'd be a very contributing member of society, and I think that the longer she stays in prison, the harder that transition will be.
Yeah. My name is Larry Broderick. Dan Broderick was my brother. I am saddened that I will never share again memories of a lifetime with Dan. I am deeply saddened to have lost the last 20 years with Dan and Linda and all of our future together. I am saddened by the devastation visited on Dan's children by this woman's outrageous acts. The overwhelming emotion I feel is rage. I have become a bitter, angry person over the years. And in order to more fully understand what I am about to say, it is important, I believe, for you to know that I believe that the criminal sitting before you is a psychopath. I am enraged that this self-centered, lying psychopath executed Dan and Linda. I am enraged by what this murderer did to my mother and father.
I am Roger Kolkena, Kolkena, brother of Linda Broderick. In my view, the most important question before the panel is, if freed, can Betty Broderick do it again? If someone were to cause her to feel enraged, or if she felt compelled to settle an old score, might Betty Broderick kill again? I don't know. The doctors don't know. No one can know. It is my heartfelt conviction that for the safety and well-being of the Broderick family, the Kolkena family, and the community, Betty Broderick should remain confined for the rest of her days.
You know, your heart is still bitter. You're still angry. You're showing no significant progress in evolving as a person past this situation. And I think what was even more overwhelming than just us talking about it was your own kids, who you talk to all the time. And they're saying, Mom, you got to move on. You're still there. You're still back 20 years ago.